New Year, but the party's over. Your sugar buzz is likely worn off and your skinny jeans might be just a little bit tight. Not to fear, Veg with Lisa is here. Gloria and I will show you just how simple it can be to create healthy meals using plant-based foods, whole grains, and legumes. And our recipe for today, baked black-eyed peas, is the perfect place to get started. So let's get cooking. This recipe has quite a few steps, but it goes together really simply, especially if you prepare some things ahead of time. The first thing you want to do is soak your black-eyed peas. At least 3 hours, preferably overnight. That's just going to expedite the cooking process. Drain off the soaking liquid and add those peas to a big pot. Black-eyed peas originated in Asia, but today they're a very traditional food in the south of the United States where it's considered to be good luck to serve them at the new year. In with the peas, I've got an onion that I cut into wedges, 2 cups of veggie stock. Remember, you can make your own, or there's some great ones in aseptic containers, and 1 bay leaf. Into the pot it all goes. I'm going to partially cover it, cook over medium-high heat just so that it's simmering for about a half an hour until the peas are tender. While your peas are cooking, you can preheat your oven to 400 degrees and prepare the rest of your ingredients. A half a cup of plain yogurt. None of that fruity stuff, make sure it's plain. If you're vegan, feel free to use a soy yogurt. A half of a cup of nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast is simply a vegetarian substitute for Parmesan cheese. I like it a lot. It's highly nutritional, high in B vitamins. But if you're not vegan and you like to use a lot of Parmesan cheese, feel free to use a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. Some dried mustard powder for a little bit of tang. The black-eyed peas are really earthy, so I love the bite and the tanginess of the dried mustard powder in here. Stir this all together and check on your peas. Once your peas are tender, you can add the other ingredients to the pot. You might want to let it cool slightly. The yogurt, nutritional yeast, mustard mix, some chopped fresh spinach, a half of a teaspoon of sea salt, and remember that the amount of salt you use might depend on whether the stock you're using is salted or not. Some fresh cracked pepper, and because I'm Lisa, a dash of hot sauce. Now you can use bottled sauce. I actually like to make my own, and I call it TIS. This is serious. Bleep. Stir it all together. And we're just about ready to pop it in the oven. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my mixture into my oiled pan. That fresh spinach will cook down once we pop it all in the oven. I love the way this yogurt and the nutritional yeast and the mustard make this wonderful vegetarian cream sauce. It's really comfort food, vegetarian comfort food at its finest. So once you've got that all in your pan, you can sprinkle it with your choice, either a little bit of Parmesan cheese or go back to the nutritional yeast if you prefer a vegan variation. I like a little bit of cheese, I just don't like to use a lot. I'm going to pop this in my preheated oven and let it bake for about 30 minutes until the top is nice and browned and it's bubbling. So my black-eyed peas are baked and bubbly. It's such great comfort food for this time of the year. I like to serve this dish over brown rice, or quinoa would be nice as well. So let's dig in. Oh gosh, yeah, you can see the steam. Our spinach is still nice and green, since we didn't cook it beforehand. And there's that nice creamy sauce. This is going to be delicious. For wine, I was determined it was finally time for a Chardonnay, which is my favorite grape. And our friends at the Cellar Rat were convinced, as long as I agreed, for it not to be a very oaky Chardonnay. So we went with a Burgundy, which is simply French Chardonnay. I think it's going to be great with this dish. Let's try this. Whew, it's hot. Delicious. Let's try the wine. All right, I admit, nice and clean, has a nice mineral component to it, which is perfect with this rustic black-eyed pea dish and the brown rice. Gloria admitted it was a little tricky finding a beer to go specifically with these black-eyed peas, and one that was vegan as well. But she did pick a red ale, or some would call it an alt beer. Alt just means old in German, so it's an old beer, meaning that it was produced before they developed the lagering process. Let's see how it tastes with these peas. It tastes great with the peas. A little bit bitter, maltiness. Well done, Gloria. This episode is dedicated to Kay Rice, who gave me this apron, and in memory of her husband, Fred, who would eat anything I put in front of him. So here's to you both. Bon appetit.